My 2 cent. My name is Paul Emerson, and I'll be giving you my 2 cent. Um, the title pretty much speaks for itself, but I want to put things into perspective for anyone that's new to the channel. So I got married about almost 3 years ago. It'll be 3 years 3 years in November this year that I've been married, and my wife is Nigerian. I flew down to Nigeria twice to get married. We were friends on Facebook for several years before we started dating, and then we made our relationship official. We got engaged, and after getting engaged, I went through the process to physically meet her in person and travel to Nigeria and pay for 2 weddings. And the whole point of us getting married was to have kids and start a family together. But everything fell apart as it always does, which is one of the reasons why I created my 2 cent, because I don't understand why life has to be as difficult or as complicated as it is. And I never really wanted to make the the whole channel or anything about the relationship dynamic between me and my wife. She made it clear before. She made it clear even when we were engaged, she really didn't want to be a part of my social media. But during our relationship, instead of her being a responsible adult and respecting my space and understanding the things that I was saying to her, her behavior became erratic, and she she's Nigerian. So I'm the here's so just to keep things simple. Because I'm a veteran from the United States military, and I got out of the army and was traveling to Nigeria to get married to a Nigerian woman, I didn't need her doing things behind my back and doing things that are illegal, especially after we got married. And I tried to make this clear to her, but for some reason, she didn't want to understand. She didn't want to listen to what I had to say. She didn't want to understand anything I was saying. It was always this position of that her telling me that I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I'm retarded. I would message her and tell her I love her and want to have an exchange with her and genuinely be decent with her, and her response would just be just disrespect, rudeness, and hate. And the thing that I've said to her and to everyone else is that that's not the woman that I married, right? I wasn't being disrespected and talked down to and treated like crap when I was engaged to her and when I was flying to Nigeria to get married to her. It was only after we got married that she decided she wanted to, hello, that she decided she wanted to change her energy and be a disrespectful person. And I explained to her that that's not why I married you. I didn't marry you for you to be rude and disrespectful to me. I'm gonna need you to not do that. I don't need you to be rude and disrespectful. She refused. She chose. I asked her. I told her. I said, I need you to go back to pretending to be the woman that you were when it's about my relationship dynamic with my wife. But my streams are always the same. I'm gonna do my 2 mile run. But as I was saying, I explained to her that I need you to be a decent human being. If you can't be a decent human being, then we're gonna have to move on. She refused to be a decent human being. She would because she lives in Nigeria and I live in the States. I live in the United States. I gave her access to my social media. I gave her access to my passwords and stuff when we were just friends and just engaged to be married. So instead of just being a decent person, she wanted to try to find dirt or figure out some way to prove that I'm this horrible person. The standard stereotypical thing about exposing men or exposing people, and it just spiraled out of control. And she didn't, because I'm not about that life. I'm not running around here being like, who goes all the way to another country to get married and cheats on their wife? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, normal people wouldn't engage in that. If I wanted to just be a cheat, I don't need to invest the money into going to another country to get married. So she went into my Facebook account and said she found evidence of me and my uncle badmouthing her behind her back. And she constantly attacked me and my uncle's relationship because there was all that there was. There wasn't anything else. What's going on? Since there wasn't anything else, that's all she would do. So, so I tried really hard to be patient and understanding with that energy. but she just kept doing it. So I called her out. I put on the internet that, hey, like, I think that I put the information about what my wife was doing to me in my direct messages on the internet to explain to the world that this is what's happening. Not like trying to expose her, but like this is the reality of the world that I'm currently dealing with, and I don't understand why. And the most important part is, as an ex United States soldier from the military, I don't need her doing illegal stuff with my accounts and with my ISBN numbers and my internet from the United States, because the United States government is going to be looking at me like I'm a veteran. So I don't need her doing things under my name, under my profile, especially after we got married. And I'm sending some federal prison somewhere or disappeared off the planet trying to explain to them that I didn't do any of that stuff, right? She didn't understand none of that. She wanted to just continue to do what she wanted to do. She made it perfectly clear that I had to choose between me being a decent, honest human being and being a corrupt person like herself. And I refuse. I just simply refuse. I'm not going to be a corrupt person. You're not going to try to blackmail me or try to use shame tactics or try to scare me into being for what? Like, none of that stuff matters. Like, you really think that the world cares about how we feel? You really think the world cares about, like, all that petty stuff doesn't get you anywhere in life? You know, like, my goal was to start a family and have children. That's the reason why we're in a relationship. And you're what? Like, what part of this juvenile game that you're trying to play is relevant to that, right? So So our relationship fell apart. I made myself homeless. I'm 100% responsible for all the things that I've done and all of the things that got me from where I was to where I am. Hi. And when it comes down to this dynamic between men and women, that's what happened. So years went by, arguing and fighting, a lack of discourse, a lack of cooperation, no mutual understanding, all because of the choices that she decided to make. So she chose to tell me that I wasn't good enough, and I chose not to pretend to be something that I was not. I'm not going to be lying. I'm not going to be scheming. I'm not going to be disrespecting. I'm going to continue to operate from ethics, morality, and legality because I always have and I always will. Like, I don't need a Jesus or an institution of religion to get me to understand how to be a functional human being in the world. So it fell apart. So a lot of it is part of Runday. Most of it is not. My channel is not about any of that stuff. But I'm going to put what happened 3 or 4 days ago on the internet. I thought about it and I'm like, should I put the information out? Should I not? I'm going to. And the only reason why is because the goal that I have for my 2 cent long term is going to be, it's self-improvement through self-education. And it's really hard in life to know what you should do or know what is a good decision to make from a position of ignorance when you're younger. I'm in my 40s, so I've tried my best to do the best that I can with the information that I got, but I wasn't given any information. I wasn't given any guidance or any. I wasn't given the relevant information that I needed to be the person that I wanted to be. Right? Like, the person that you want to be and the person society is trying to force you to be are going to be in opposition with each other. The person you want to be and the person that your parents tell you that you are going to always be in opposition with each other. And there's a relationship between doing what you want and trying to prove that you're not what other people are telling you in society that creates chaos in your life and ultimately results in you wasting energy. I'm not going to say that you're a failure. I'm just going to say that you're wasting energy. You're engaged in things that are not relevant. You're not, all your focus should be in an area that you're trying to move toward. And you can't always do that, right? Like when I was homeless after I wanted to be a husband and father. So the first girl that I had any type of a sexual relationship with or was dating, she got pregnant. I got her pregnant. She got pregnant. We were engaged. We were supposed to be getting married. She got pregnant. She went to child support. We never had a discussion about, hey, how do you feel about me getting pregnant you not having a relationship with your child and paying child support for 18 years. We never had that discussion. That was never a topic of discussion. It was never that. It was never, hey, how do you feel about getting me pregnant and then abandoning my child and then abandoning me so I can raise my child by myself? We never had that discussion. Women make it seem like men are out here just being evil people, but the reality is that the relationship dynamic that in the relationship dynamic of consent between men and women in the bedroom is not the same thing that occurs after that, and it is always polarized like men are just these monsters. And I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I'm just saying that for some reason, universally, we just accept the narrative that he wasn't man enough or he wasn't good enough or he ran away. Sometimes women just want what they want and they're willing to use men the same way that men want what they want and they're willing to use women. So I digress. Let's just get to the point of the whole dynamic. The only thing I needed my wife to do was be on her best behavior so that she can come to America and we could start a family. She didn't want to do any of that. So this is the last conversation I had with her. This is after several years of arguing and confrontation and fighting and being lied to and being manipulated. She even got to the point where she told me that, and I'm explaining this because it won't make sense why I'm saying these things, but that's the point. When you have somebody trying to manipulate and control the narrative of the world around you, this is kind of why when someone is trying to manipulate someone else and control what what perception of reality that they project, this is what you see, right? This woman is my legal wife. We got married 3 times in Nigeria. And the conversation that we're having is built on a foundation of all you have to do is just wait for your visa to get approved and come to Nigeria and come from Nigeria to America so we can start a family, which would have been around which would have been around now. A couple months from now, I'm sure her visa would have been approved, but the process stopped because she wants to be a B word. So this is I want to just show all of the deleted messages on her end, where like all of this stuff, so it's just her deleting things to, I can't see my phone in that phone. So I guess I'll use my camera. So she's just deleting all this stuff. So this is the last video, me homeless, as you can see, me homeless in my car. And the last conversation I called her right before I was getting my apartment. And I told her, I said, I forgive you for everything you've done. I said, I apologize for everything that I've done and I forgive you for everything that I've done. Her response to me was, I don't apologize for nothing that I've done and I don't forgive you for anything. I hate you. I fucking hate you. You're the worst thing I've ever done. You're the worst mistake I ever made. You're stupid. You're dumb. Just juvenile belittling tactics, right? So after that, this is basically the last conversation I had with her. So I said, you're right, I'm wrong. Go get pregnant, Blessing. If you can still have a child, go find a man to give you a child while you still can. If I was in the country, I would, but I'm not, so I can't. Or don't. It's your life. And then you can see the message that she deleted, all of the disrespect and this. So the last conversation me and her had was around, what's the date? June 23rd, right? And then this is her brother messaging me. And he's like, hello, good morning, congratulations. I got the news this morning. And then that was her brother messaging me. So after he messaged me, letting me know that I was a father, I sent it to my wife. Congratulations, I'm happy for you. It took about 2 days for her to respond. And then she responded with this. And it basically reads, our marriage is over. It was over when you came to Facebook. You don't have to, you don't have your own child. You will never be a mother. This is what I'm saying to her. She asked me, why did I delete my account? It caught up with you that you were just foolish. And what else? I think that's basically it. It basically, here's the gist of it. The gist of it is, for some reason, she has this idea in her head, like, I cursed her by explaining to her. So I explained to her that you're working against your own best interest. If your goal is to get pregnant, all you have to do is just fly to America and get, and then we can start a family. Like, it's not hard. Get the visa process finished and you can get married. We can finish what we started, right? You're married and you're complaining and whining and bitching and moaning about how you don't have a child yet. You're in your 30s. You were not you didn't have any kids before we got married, so you don't get to dump it on me now that we're engaged and that we're married like it's my fault that you don't have children. We both were adults and we understand how this process works, right? So that's the gist of the information of the past that gets misunderstood now that is the present. And so that's what I was telling her. And so when she was being a B word and acting like a child, I'm telling her, like, you're never, like, that energy, no one's ever going to get you pregnant. You're never going to be a mother because you don't want to submit. You don't want to be a decent human being. You don't want to be honest and upfront with life, right? So that was basically like the last dynamic of the conversation me and her were having. So, so I asked her, I said, and this is the present, did you tell your brother you had a baby, or is he confused? And then her response was, I had a baby. My brother's not confused. You are the one confused. That response is to remind you that you once called me barren by cursing me. Well, your curse did not work. I am a mother now. Good for you. Just just so you know, I'm happy. I'm a husband. I have a daughter that loves me, my actual biological daughter, just for clarity. I have an apartment. My job is paying me a little over $4,000 a month. Then I asked, did you give your baby my last name? I'm asking her this because we are married, not because I think that she did, but because we're married. I can't ask her simple direct questions because she's going to be oppositional. So that's what I'm asking her. And then she laughed and I said, am I the father? And then her response was, since 2023 that you last came, you must be very stupid. Do you have a picture? I had my baby 3 days ago and she has a father. So do you have a picture? So I will share a picture with you. You really have some nerves. Does your child's father know that you're married? I am no longer married. I did an annulment and he helped me out. Okay, have a good day. Congratulations on becoming a mother. I'm happy for you. So the this exchange pretty much is the end of the chapter of my wife. I'm gonna continue to move forward with my 2 cent. I'm gonna continue to move forward with creating the my 2 cent life system and building the Bank of Paul Emerson and getting from where I am to where I'm trying to be. The world is broken. It's broken in ways that most people don't understand, especially if you're young. You have to think about, it's easy to sit back and listen to what I'm saying and want to pass judgment on me or want to pass judgment on my wife. But you have to really think about the nuances of what just occurred. Two consensual adults made a plan to have children and it fell apart for no reason. There's absolutely no reason why the relationship dynamic between me and my wife should not have worked. And if two functional human beings can't just engage in basic human, I don't even know what the words are. If a man and a woman can't just make a plan to have children, how is anything supposed to work in society? She's not retarded. She's not incompetent. She's not dumb. But for some reason, the dynamic of how you go from making a plan to have children to starting a family to raising children fell apart. Why did she, why did my wife wait until she was in her 30s to decide to have kids? She wanted to be married before she had kids. So we got married so that she could have kids. But instead of waiting to finish the process to get her citizenship to come to America, she chose to have children while married by another man. She chose to be an adulteress. Why? Like what would like just conceptualize it. Like it's easy to sit back and be like, you're the man, it's your fault, you're stupid, you're dumb. It's easy to do that. But think about it. Why would a 30-year-old woman get married and then have a child with a man that she's not married to? Why would she put that much energy into that? My wife could have gotten married at any point in her life. So why did she wait until after she was legally married to someone to get pregnant by somebody that she's not married to? Why? What is the answer to that question? Why? Why did she marry the worst person? If I'm the worst person, the evilest person, the craziest person on the planet, why did she marry me? Why couldn't she go out and find the guy that she like? Why? What are the answers to those questions? Where do you find that answer? What page, what chapter, what verse in the Bible explains this dynamic? That's why I'm creating the Michelson life system. Because at the end of the day, none of this shit is difficult. Nothing about life is hard. Nothing about life is hard. You know what I did? When I got the news, I went to work. I took off 2 days. I sat around and chilled, not working, living my life. And the next day I went to work, which was yesterday. And after I do this 2 mile run, I'm gonna go back to work and I'm gonna make the money and I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna do the things that I want to do in my life. The problem is that when you're young, you don't understand and you invest energy into proving shit that is not relevant. It's not fucking relevant. Most of the things that you're gonna do at the age of 18 to 24 is just gonna be a waste of your fucking time trying to validate yourself to people that will never fucking care. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna spend the next 8 to 10 years wasting your life trying to prove shit that doesn't even fucking matter. My 2 cents is about eliminating that shit. Literally, like if I would have known that it's impossible for an African American male to have children in an American society if you're not a Christian, I wouldn't have made an effort. I wouldn't have made a fucking effort. If I would have known that the only way that you could be a functional adult in America is you have to be a dysfunctional Christian, I would have never made an effort to be a functional adult. I say it all the time. The reason why the quality of my life is what it is because I want to be a good, honest, decent human being. The adversities and the struggle and all of the difficulties that I deal with every day is because I want to be honest, kind-hearted, caring, respectful, understanding, and reasonable. And those things are not reciprocated in society. That is not a failing of me. That is a failing of society. And I could choose to vibrate on the same energy of the people around me and be just as shitty and disrespectful and just as rude as they are. But it's not going to get me anywhere in life. Showing up to work being a piece of shit asshole is just going to get me fired. And I'm just going to go job to job to job to job, emulating an environment that nobody even fucking wants. Or I can put up with the stupidity of the people around me that don't want to understand the value of having decent people around them and keep my fucking job and keep getting paid and keep making the money I need to make so that I can do the things that I want to do in my life. Because unless someone puts their fucking hands on you, just ignore that shit. So all you have to do is ignore it. And you shouldn't have to work in a house work environment. You shouldn't have to put up with bullshit, but you're going to. You're just gonna have to. No matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, no matter how bad you think it is, Whatever you imagine is going to be better is just going to be the same bullshit. It's going to be the same bullshit. If you're not doing what you love, if you're not living the life that you want to live, you're just dealing with bullshit. And what you love and where you're trying to be is the reduction of bullshit. That's all it is. It's just the reduction of taking the things that you don't want and breaking it down to the lowest common denominator so that you have the things that you need in the context of what you want them to be. And that's basically it. I started my 2 cent because I was trying to figure out why things are fucking broken. And you know what I wrote? What I learned? Things are not broken. They're designed to not function the way that they function so the Europeans can maintain their power and authority and control. If you never show up to challenge them, then they never have to prove that they're good enough. And that's the way society is structured right now. That's how it's structured right now. If you have light skin and light colored hair and you get put in a position, you never have to prove that you're good enough for the position because you're just there. And if you don't look like that, you have to go out of your way to prove that you deserve to be in that position. And they will gladly remove a functional person that doesn't look like them out of a job that they know that that person is qualified for and shove somebody who looks like them into that job. Because that way, they don't have to worry about getting fired for being a piece of shit asshole. They show up unethical, immoral, and engaged in illegal activities. And there's a silent, universal understanding that we look out for each other against all non-whites. And you see it all over the fucking world. You see it all over the fucking world. Donald Trump closed the border to every fucking immigrant on this planet and opened it to the South Africans. And here's the thing. The South Africans are fucking immigrants in the country that they're in. They're not even native members of South Africa. They should be taking their asses back to Europe, right? So you closed your border to illegal immigration, only to open it to illegal immigrants in a country that isn't theirs. Like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. But as always, my name is Paul Emerson, and I've given you my 2 cents.